Oh man, she did what? Why is the government always lying? That's not your fault. That was your mother's job. I know it sucks. It's hard, but it's fair. If we don't get our heads out of our collective asses, we're gonna be lost in the sauce. You knew he was sorry when you met him at DHS. Come on, baby girl. What's the solution? Look, I know I'm fucked up. Welcome, good people. Welcome to the Angry Nerd Podcast. My name is Arshawn Wade, aka the Angry Nerd. Today's topic comes to me from recent events, the NFL draft, and something that jumped out on me based on something that I saw on social media this week. Colorism. It's real and it is alive. But first, let me give a shout out to my man Dylan Brackley for the graphics that you guys can't see right now because we're on Facebook Live. But if you follow me on YouTube, you will see the graphics in the back. Shout out to my man Dylan Brackley, a Savage Hippie, for the graphics. Also, my intro song is produced by DJ Platinum Wax out of Southern Arkansas. He has a recording company. It's called Young Black Wise Guys Records. If you have any recording needs, check out my guy. All right, jumping right into it. So, I'm not a sports guy, like at all. And people always say, well, what about fighting? Fighting ain't a sport. Anyways, we won't get off into that right now. But I'm not a sports guy. I'm not real big into sports, but a friend of mine, he is. And he follows the draft, and he knows these kids from high school, college, and so on and so forth. And so it had me interested in the NFL draft recently. And there was something that struck me as very odd. And I was surprised that there are so many women who actually follow the NFL and follow the NFL draft and things like that. I was very surprised by that. But one thing that kept popping out on Twitter, on Instagram, and also Facebook were a lot of black women chiding these young men who were seen with either white girls or light-skinned sisters. And it was disgusting. I thought it was disgusting. Here it is, you got guys who have dedicated their entire lives. I mean, from the time that they're 4 or 5 years old, these guys dedicate their lives to playing football. And the only takeaway is he's with a white girl or he's with a light-skinned girl. And I just thought that put a dark cloud over the entire situation. You know what I mean? Like, they finally made it. There are only like 200 or 300 slots or something like that in the NFL. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a sports guy, but I know that there are very few spots in the NFL, and there are thousands of kids all over the country playing football, hoping that they make it to the NFL. Everybody wants to go pro. And these young men have risen to the top of this institution. And we can't congratulate these young men on the great achievement that they have just achieved. We can't give them their flowers. We are concerned about what the color of the young lady is that is present with them. Now, I got some opinions about that, because there are a lot of sisters who will be down on brothers. Oh, you done got your money, now you got a white woman. Oh, he got his money, now he got a high yellow girl. Well, as many posts as I see in social media about men ain't this and men ain't that and God send me a good man. Well, if you have those type of ideologies, do you think you could possibly miss the man that God has for you because you asked for a good man and he happens to be white? You ask God for a good man, he happens to be Hispanic, but you're prejudiced. So your prejudice has just gotten in the way of God's gift for you. You pray and ask God for a gift. One thing I know about God, I don't want to get all off into religion, but one thing I know about God is when he answers a prayer, it doesn't always come in the form that we think it's going to come in. And I thought it was very disheartening to see all of these negative comments about these young ladies that these athletes are brought with them. I see one of the young men, his girlfriend was white. I said, well, he doesn't have any money. He doesn't have anything. Pro athletes, don't get me wrong, athletes from the time they're in junior high, high school, some of them, college, they are treated like gods, especially if they're like really talented. They are treated like gods. But for all intents and purposes, most athletes are broke. Most athletes are broke. All their money goes to meal prep, and it goes to buying gear and shoes and cleats and things like that. And they don't have any money. So to say that, oh, he's going to the NFL, now he's got a white girl, he's been in college for 4 years. Have you ever thought that this young lady believed in him and his dream, even though it's slim? Because for every one guy that makes it to the NFL, there are thousands of athletes that don't make it. For every one guy that makes it, for every one superstar, there are thousands, and I would even stretch it to say millions of guys that don't make it. There are millions of people who don't make it to the NFL or the NBA. So that being said, if she was riding with him in hopes of getting something on the back end once he turns pro, that was like playing the lottery. It's a long shot. It's no guarantee he's going to go pro. He could be injured. He could not get picked up. There are so many variables to where I think that it is disgusting for people to interrupt these guys' lives to say you're dating who you're dating because you're successful. These boys don't have any money yet. They're standing up there wearing their best suits and they're twiddling their thumbs, hoping that they get picked up by a team. Because you want to know what happens if they don't get picked up by a team? Man, they got to go get a regular job. They better hope they majored in or minored in something or majored in something that's going to make them some money. Because if they don't make it to the league, that's it. Their entire life is right there on the line. And it's disheartening that I see so many women are so fickle. 1 minute, we riding girl, it's all girl power. You know, a woman's movement, baby, on one hand. And then you flip, and then you have these little splinter cells in the institution of womanhood to where you hate on each other and you talk down on each other and things like that. And it's just wrong. And it kind of taints the entire movement for me. Because when I see that, I didn't hear that kind of stuff being said about Serena Williams. And she's married outside of her race, or the Meghan Markle young lady who married the prince or the king, whatever the guy is. But they go to talking trash about men. Oh, you're only doing this because, wait a minute. Are you going to tell me that I decided to link my life with another person based on the color of their skin? I'm going to be successful. I'm going to get a white girl. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to get a light-skinned girl. That is dangerous. It's dangerous that people even think like that. I just have a serious problem with that. You pray, you ask God for somebody good. I think you should have your mind and your heart open to be receptive to whoever it is that God brings to you. I think that these prejudices should be sat down. And this isn't about, to me, as much about black and white as much as it is about women being consistent with their message. If you guys are about women and about women rising up and women having power and women having a voice and everything like that, let's be consistent. Let's not get on Facebook and let's not get on Instagram and Twitter. And now because an athlete is dating a woman of another race, now it's your prejudice is showing. So to me, that means your entire message, your entire womanhood thing, all that kind of stuff, it's all watered down and it's weak. Now back to these young men. I don't think that a lot of sisters, it might be dirty to say, but I don't think a lot of sisters will be down with a guy who's broke. And these guys, until they make it to the league and get that check, they are broke. I've known a lot of athletes over the years, and let me tell you, as an athlete myself, poor. You're not making a bunch of money. Even when you make money in a fight, you're not making a bunch of money. Everybody's not making Floyd Mayweather money. So a lot of sisters, from what I see, they will be down with brothers if they already got the money. They won't be, it's not a lot of them that will stay down with a guy while he doesn't have anything, while he has a dream and he's working on a purpose. You know, I haven't seen a lot of black women who will ride with you while you're going down. Hey, what up, good brother? Hey, how's it going, Summer? I see you. There are not a lot, I haven't seen a lot of sisters ride with a brother while he's down on the bottom, while he's thinking of a master plan, while he's trying to figure out how he can circumvent this wicked capitalist society. I have not seen that. The posts that I see on social media are about a man who already got something. Oh, he ain't got this, he ain't got that. Well, let me tell you something. These brothers going to the NFL that just went to the NFL the other day, they don't have anything yet. Matter of fact, they still don't have anything. They just don't. And there aren't a lot of people who are willing to be loyal and stay down when a person doesn't have anything to offer. So I think that to say that these young men have chosen these young ladies because they're successful is a farce, because they don't have anything yet. And shame on you if you're one of those people who shames these men because of who God brought into their life. You don't know their situation. All you know is face value. All you know is what's there. You don't know about that girl helping his dumb self pass his finals. You don't know about that girl tutoring him and trying to help him get on a college reading level. You don't know their story. You don't know their struggle. You don't. All you know is, oh, it looks like he's with a white girl. Now, I say this, and oftentimes, I'm accused of being with white women. My wife's black, you know, and that doesn't mean anything. Once upon a time, I thought my wife was going to be someone who was Caucasian. And I don't have anything to say against that. I don't think that color has a love like that. I don't think that love has a color that way. But I just see right and wrong. And to me, it is wrong to bastardize these people's relationship based on your prejudice. That's not okay. Women, we need to learn how to cheer for other women. I don't see that happen a whole lot. I see the little posts. I see the little, oh, fix your crown, girl. I see all that. But I also see the wickedness. There's a whole lot more wickedness in the institution of womanhood than there is good things. So instead of saying, oh, he got with her, why don't you try to figure out what you need to do to fix your nasty spirit so that God can provide you with the man that you would desire? Why don't you start doing that? Instead of hating on the next woman, instead of speaking on the next person's relationship, why don't you start putting yourself in a position spiritually to attract the kind of person that you want God to bestow upon you? Yeah, real love is blind. I agree with that 100%. But my thing is this. These women will say unkind things about these women that these athletes are with. I'm not saying that being a professional athlete doesn't come with groupies. I get that. There are some people who are going to say, hey man, I got this paper now. All I want is this. All I want is a foreign. I get that. I'm not saying those people don't exist. But from what I saw with these young men in the NFL draft, I don't think that's the case. Because they don't have anything. They don't have anything. And if you want what these young ladies have, why don't you try to do some of the things that these young ladies have done, which is find a man who has a vision, find a man who's working on his purpose, find a man who's trying to do something better, and get in on the ground level of it and build together. Because I'm an optimist. I always look on the bright side of things. And from what I see, I think that that's what these young people have done. They've gotten together in college. Hey, I'm going to play this part. I'm going to help you with your homework. I'm going to help you with your classes, help you pick a major. We're going to set our family up. Oftentimes that's what I've seen. And then we'll turn around and we'll talk trash about these young ladies, and you don't know that young lady's struggle. You don't know about her working 2 jobs to pay their car payment and pay for their apartment. You don't know that. All you know is the end result. And it seems like so many people are in love with the end result. Nobody wants to help you make a cake, but everybody wants a slice after you've made it. And that's what I'm seeing right here. Oftentimes I see jealousy and anger because they see, oh, they finna have the life of luxury because these young men are going to the NFL. He only got her because she's a white girl. He only got her because she's light skinned. You know, she was light skinned when his ass was broke too. She was white when he was broke too. You know, but we don't want to give people credit for that. It's rare that you're going to find somebody who will be with you when you don't have anything. Once again, going to the NFL is a long shot. There's no guarantee that these boys were going to the NFL. You seen them sitting over there with their mother and they praying, please God, please God, because they have devoted their entire lives to this craft. And now it's all on the line. Please God, let me make it. And shame on you if you're one of the people who shame somebody because they're with someone of a different race. That's not okay. Actually, I think that's kind of what Martin Luther King's dream was. We ain't gonna get off into his other dream. But I think that's what it was about, to break down these barriers so that I can share my culture with you. You can share your culture with me. And I think a lot of us do that. I think a lot of us are okay with that. But at large, we got to do better. We have to do better. We have to change some of the narratives. Once upon a time, I get that, but I don't think that's the case today. Why don't you think that's the case? I want to hear what you guys think in the comments. Excuse me. Please like, comment, share this video. Also, I would like for you to follow me on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is the Angry Nerd Podcast on YouTube. But I really want to know what you guys think, because in 2020, to see posts and to see videos where where black women are chastising black men because of their choice in woman. Now, the gangster side of me is this. The gangster side of me is, what makes you think he was going to choose you? What makes you think if he was not with Sally over here or Mallory, what do you think you have done to make yourself the kind of woman that man would choose? Oh, I hear it all the time. Oh, I hear it all the time. I need a man got this. I need a man got that. I need a man that can do this. What are you about? What have you done in your life to prepare yourself to be with that kind of man? I have a nagging suspicion you haven't met that man yet, because the Most High hasn't seen that you do any work to be prepared to be with that kind of man. Because you want to know what happens when you get a man like that? You have to be a woman with equal value. You have to be a woman of equal value. And oftentimes, I see some of the women, the worst kind of women, talking trash about what the next woman is doing. It appears she's done something right. What are you doing to put yourself in a position to get the kind of things that you see her have, that you covet in her? And we need to really work on that. So many times we do not work on self. So many times we don't work on self. We're always focused on the next person and what they're doing. Okay, what can I do to put myself in a position to get that kind of guy? What can I do to put myself in a position to get that kind of girl? We keep the focus projected outwardly, and we should be turning inwardly. These young ladies who have these posts up on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, they need to go find a room, a quiet room, get a journal, and start writing out what their character defects are. What is holding them up? Why don't I have an NFL draft guy? Why don't I have a guy who is being successful? What do I need to do to put myself in a position to attract a man who is successful? I promise you, if you start doing that, you will start to you will start to get positive results. But as long as you're projected outward, talking about the next man or talking about the next woman, you're never going to work on these character defects that you've been carrying around for 10, 20, 30 years. And I love that they say this. It's just who I am. You think you said some real savvy stuff right there, sis, but you didn't. Because what you said was, you said it with finality, like, I can't change. This is who I am. Ma'am, that means you need to, it's going to be some growing pains, but you need to take a hard look at some things, and you need to get yourself fixed. You need to get some counseling. You need to get some books. I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday, and she was talking about problems that she was having with her guy. And I suggested to her, you need to get him some books. You get him some, you guys get a book together, a self-help book, and start working together. Now isn't the time. Now that it's funky, the novelty is gone. The relationship has got a little bit of dirt on it. Now we want to sweep it under the rug. All right, I'm on to the next thing. No, it takes hard work. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says great things. He says it takes at least 3 years to even get to know each other. So don't end the relationship. You just got to know each other. And this is what I told my friend. You just got to know each other. Relationships are work. Successful relationships are work. If you want a successful relationship, it takes hard work. It takes dedication, determination, and desire. That's what it takes. Well, I got to work 12 hours over here to pay bills. How much work are you putting into your relationship? Before you go off and talk trash on one of these young men drafted to the NFL based on his relationship, how much work are you putting into your relationship? Or are you sitting around watching Desperate Housewives of Atlanta talking about other people and what they got going on? That is not good. That is not the behaviors indicative of a successful relationship. Nothing about sitting around talking trash on the next person is conducive to forming a successful relationship. How often do you turn off all the TVs and you sit and talk? How often do you ask, hey, what makes you tick? What makes you happy? How often are you doing that? Because that's the kind of work that you have to do in order to be in that position that these young ladies found themselves in. And you got to put in the work. And so many people are not willing to put in the work. I want the NFL guy. Yeah, there are thousands of girls. What do they call that? All-Star Weekend? They go to All-Star Weekend. They fly out in record numbers, and they go out to wherever All-Star Weekend is happening at, hoping to catch a baller. Lazy heifers. Lazy heifers. Those some lazy heifers. They didn't get a man who was working on his dream and help him build it. They just want to move into his building. And I can't talk about this without bringing up the good brother Steve Jackson. Steve Jackson made millions of dollars in the NBA as an NBA player. He was getting ready to be married to a young lady, and he wanted her to sign a prenuptial agreement. Well, I had these millions when I met you, and I don't think that it's wrong for a man to ask a woman, or vice versa. If a woman of means is marrying a man who's come from a lower income, I don't think it's wrong to want to protect yourself, because there are people out here who target people with money to marry them and get their paper. I understand you wanting to protect yourself. This hardfoot heifer takes the prenuptial agreement and hand writes a clause in there that says, if the marriage goes bad, you have to buy me a house and give me an allowance and this, that, and the third. And he had to call the marriage off. He had to call it off. He had to call it off. And this man, I mean, Steve Jackson ain't no punk. How many of us have seen him fight people in the NBA? How many seen him wig? I mean, this guy ain't no chump. But he had to shed a tear, and he had to do a hard thing and realize this isn't the woman for me. And one of his partner's mom came up to him and wiped his face and dried his tears and told him, hey, you just became a man today. And I felt that. I got chills right now. I can feel the Holy Spirit up in here. I'm just playing. Anyways, I got chills because I understand what it means to have to do that hard thing. That was a hard thing, but he was like, look, this is going to be chaos. If I carry on with this lady, she's starting our marriage out, setting up the exit. If I marry this lady, my life is going to be in chaos. And I understand why he had to do what he had to do. But the most powerful thing for me was the way his homeboy's mom came and wiped his face and told him, hey, put your chin up. You became a man today. We need more women like that in our communities. Because that right there, that motherly love, even though that wasn't his mom, just those words, her having the courage to tell him, no, baby, you became a man today. Because there were probably plenty of people telling him, hey, dog, Steve, she ain't it. But he had to see it for himself. And he had to get rid of her. And it's terrible. See, he's an older man. So he's already been through all that. You know, the groupies and all that kind of stuff. He knows too well what that lifestyle is about. My advice is this to anybody, whether you are a successful basketball player or football player or a successful fighter. I have a handful of friends who are super talented fighters. You can see that they're already superstars. Shout out Ashton Kirby. Shout out Dreadhead. I mean, you can already see these guys. They're special kids, man. They're special. They're special guys. You can already see the success that's going to come to them. And my advice is find someone of substance. Find someone. We already don't have nothing now. This would be the perfect time to find someone who is about something. Excuse me. This would be the perfect time to find someone who is about something, someone who has a rich character. Find someone who is going to be there for you, whether you have or whether you do not. And those of us who aren't superstars and celebrities, we know how difficult that is to find. We know exactly how difficult that is to find. So for me, getting back to the young men at the NFL draft, for them to come from, a lot of those guys come from nothing. And they have worked extremely hard to get to the pinnacle of that institution, the NFL. And for them to find someone before they got rich and famous, I feel like that's a beautiful thing, man. I feel like that's amazing. I don't feel like these young ladies are gold diggers. Why? Because like I said, getting with a guy in college who's a good football or basketball player is like playing the lottery. It's not a guarantee he's going to the league. So I think that it's a beautiful thing, and we need to look at it like that. I think that people are so scarred. People are calloused because of their own failures, because of their own heartbreaks and letdowns. And now the lens that you see the world through is dirty. You don't see pure things. You don't see good things. You don't see beauty. And that's actually heartbreaking. It's a tragedy. But we need to start practicing cleaning the lens that we see the world through. Arshawn, are you telling me to be goofy and just walk around like everything is great? No. Let's not be extremists in our thinking. Let's not go all the way to the left. What I am saying is we need, as a country, as a people, as human beings, we need to start practicing, we need to start practicing love, care, and concern. That is what I'm saying. We need to stop looking at things. We always see the negative in things. We are so negative. And like I said, I think it's just because we are, in this country, we're jaded. Like Americans are just jaded. Like we don't see good anywhere. We don't look for good. We don't think anything is good. Hell, we see something bad on TV, they probably deserved it. You know, like that's just our kind of general tone. Like everything is scandalous. And I think it's because we get bombarded with so much negative imagery that's just how we operate. You know what I mean? Once upon a time, it was, you would give the bum on the corner money. Now, when you ride by them, you be like, oh, they probably scamming, just, and keep driving. And I do agree, shit. So I think some of them are scamming, but we just don't have that, like that love, like we don't have that genuine care for each other anymore. Once upon a time, people genuinely cared. People genuinely wanted good things to happen, not only for themselves, but for other people too. And we missing that. We are definitely missing that. That's why we can't believe that this white girl is in love with this black guy who, mind you, didn't have nothing before yesterday or Thursday, whenever it was the NFL draft was. That's why we can't believe that that's true love. That's why, because we're a jaded people. And so I think as a whole, people in this country need to start doing a lot of spirit work. People in this country need to start working on the fabric of their souls, because we are pessimists. Like, as a country, we are pessimists. All we see is negative. All we see is bad. And it's because, like I said, they bombard us with negativity. They bombard us with killings and rapes, and they make TV shows about it. And I think we need to start working on what we allow into our spirit. Eyes are the windows of the soul, so are the ears. And as ancient wisdom teaches us, for anybody who hasn't watched my show before, I refer to the Bible as ancient wisdom because I don't want to put off any of my friends who are atheists. Truly, I don't want to put off any of my atheist friends, but ancient wisdom teaches us, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if I ingest negative all the time, 90% of what I ingest is negative, what do I expect to flow from my fountain, i.e. my mouth? What do I expect to demonstrate to my children? What do I expect to demonstrate to my significant other? What do I expect to demonstrate to my coworkers, to the lady in line at the grocery store? What do I expect to demonstrate if I only ingest negativity? So, and this isn't a call, this ain't no altar call. I'm not saying you got to go to church to be in a positive place, or the mosque or the temple or anything like that, but we do have to actively start seeking out things that edify our spirit in a positive way. Let's start working on our spirit. Let's work on our spirit life. Let's work on being better people. Okay? My name is Arshawn Wade, aka The Angry Nerd. I'm signing out. Peace.